Hey, it is the Morning Scramble, and as we prepare for Election Day coming up on Tuesday, November the 2nd, we're getting to know our mayoral candidates for the city of Cedar Rapids. We are going to give you 5 to 6 minutes. We'll get 4 questions out of the way, but I think by the end of this, we'll have a better understanding of Amara Andrews. So thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super fun to be here. And Election Day is November 2nd, but you can start voting now.
Good point.
Yes,
absolutely.
Voting is open.
Can we start with just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and why you want to be the mayor?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Amara Andrews, and I am running for mayor of Cedar Rapids. I'm originally from California, born and raised in Los Angeles. I went to UC Berkeley for undergrad, and this is kind of a fun fact. After graduating, I became a teacher. I was planning to spend 1 year studying for the LSAT, and they gave people emergency credentials to teach because there was a shortage of teachers.
Wow.
So I was 21 years old, I'd never taken an education class, and here I am responsible for 30 kids, and I taught in the inner city of LA, and I loved it. I had so much success in the classroom. I ended up staying until I went to law school 4 or 5 years later. So taught in the inner city, and I must say that it was really eye-opening for me to have had that experience, understanding what it's like for kids growing up in poverty, how difficult it is to break the cycle of violence and poverty that they are born into. Really kind of changed my perspective. Went on, I got married, and so we moved, and at that point I went to law school and finished at UCLA School of Law, and practiced law for a little bit. My husband and I have lived all over the country in 7 states and small towns and large urban centers, and so I really have a very unique perspective, and because of all the places that I have been, I can see the potential in Cedar Rapids. I mean, this is such an amazing city. But anyway, to round out my story, I've spent a number of years in communications and business development. We landed in the Midwest in Champaign, Illinois, and I started an incubator program for startup companies there, and now have been director of strategic communications and business development and True North. So love helping people with their business ideas, get their businesses started, and have developed strategic plans to grow is really my strength. Brings me a lot of joy doing that. And last summer, after George Floyd was murdered, I became very involved in that grassroots movement. I was one of the leaders of the movement and one of the people that was negotiating with the city on our 7 demands. And so that is really when I became acquainted with our local government. And then after that, we got this Citizens Review Board created, and we're still negotiating with the city. I decided to consider running, and after the mayor's response to derecho and the pandemic, it just became apparent to me that we need change and we need new leadership, and that is what I hear on the campaign trail as well. That people just want a new leader, a new vision, and I think with my background that I could provide that.
Can we help our viewers / listeners better understand exactly what the mayor of Cedar Rapids actually does? What's the job description?
Yeah, it's interesting, and it varies across the country, but our form of government, we have what is known as a weak mayor position. So the mayor is a member of Cedar Rapids. The mayor is a member of Cedar Rapids.
Yes.
Should be a resident of Cedar Rapids, and also leads city council. So 1 seat on city council. It's really the city manager that kind of runs the city, is basically the COO of the city and runs the daily operations of the city, and is critically important. And that's currently Jeff Pomerantz, who has done a great job. So the mayor leads city council and really sets the vision for the city. And is one vote, but also helps with the direction and sort of the culture of council. So it's imperative that you have somebody who can find common ground, that can work together, and that has good leadership skills and communication. That's the other thing is our form of government. The mayor is a public figure. The mayor needs to be a communicator and someone who's out in front of the public constantly talking about our policies, our initiatives, and that's something I think we really have not done well in the past 4 years. And then lastly, the mayor is an advocate. So an advocate for the people of Cedar Rapids. If there are laws that don't work in our favor, the mayor should be advocating for change. And so, that's why one of the reasons why I'm running is because I think I can communicate and I can be an advocate for the people of Cedar Rapids.
Well, what's your vision for the future for Cedar Rapids? What do you want to happen?
So my vision, the romantic version of it, is that Cedar Rapids becomes the Austin of the Midwest. I mean, Austin in Texas has really become a destination spot. There are lots of tech conferences, all kinds of conferences. I'm in the transportation industry. We have conferences in Austin. So creating a city that is desirable for people, for workers, for businesses to come here because it's a great place to be, because it's a great place to live and raise a family and run a business. And it is, right? It's an affordable place. It's a beautiful place. To the contrary, when we landed in the Midwest, we landed in Champaign. And so Champaign was what I thought was the Midwest. Like, this was the geography and topography, which is super flat, and cornfields. That's literally what Champaign is like. And Cedar Rapids is not. It's beautiful with rolling hills and trees and water. We just need to be able to tell the story of why Cedar Rapids is so great. And I think people will be attracted to us as a community.
We'll give you one last sentence as we wrap up. Whether they're voting early or on election day, why should people vote for you?
People should vote for me if they want change. And if this vision of Cedar Rapids resonates. I believe that I know Cedar Rapids is a diverse place. It's an accepting place. We need to tell the story, and we also need to break down the silos within our own community and really put forth policies that are putting people, workers, small businesses, nonprofits, putting those people first, because they're the backbone of our city and of our society. So if that resonates for you, Amara for CR. It's Amara Andrews on the ballot November 2nd. And now.
Amara Andrews, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.